100% pure rock. 107.7 The Bone.
107.7 The Bone. That is Slayer with Divine Intervention. I'm Nikki Blakk, and it is no coincidence that I have the drummer of that song sitting in front of me, Mr. Paul Bostaph. You have been in a lot of bands.
I have been in a lot of bands.
There's a recurring theme.
I haven't heard that song for a long time.
Now, I remember when that happened, and you guys were stoked. I mean, that was like a really big album for you with them, wasn't it?
That was the biggest album I ever did. I mean, I think that album, when it first came out, and I could be totally wrong, but I think when it first came out, it was at number 7 on Billboard the first week it came out. Wow. I remember I got a phone call from their manager just flipping out. You know, it was smart how they did it. I think it was almost 2, I want to say 2 weeks, but I could be wrong. But anyway, it seemed like 2 weeks. It was a week. I know it was a week of in stores. We did 2 a day in 2 separate cities. So we'd get up in the city, we had the in-store and do an afternoon one, fly to another city, do an evening one, and then stay in that city, do it all over again. And we did that for, I think, 7 days. And the last day we did 3 in-stores in one day.
Oh my God.
I remember...
was that the one at Tower at Bay in Columbus out here?
Yep.
I think I was on KSJO then, and somebody stole our van.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Probably a Slayer fan.
It was.
I remember waking up at one point in the middle of the night signing my pillow. I swear to God.
It was just that crazy.
It was that you just got, I don't think I've ever autographed more things in my entire life. But that whole tour was crazy because we were playing
it was huge.
Stadiums.
Yeah.
And we had that gigantic lighting rig.
We were at Arco that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they left me behind.
Oh, I wasn't going to go there.
But it was a great day. I had a great day off. Yeah, I got oil spotted after the Arco show.
You want to just tell the story?
Do I have time?
Yeah, you want me to tell it?
You tell it.
Good times. Mr. Paul Bostaph can never stop telling a story, so we're after the show. We have directions to TGI Fridays, but we're waiting, and we're waiting while you're talking, and you're talking, and waiting, and talking.
I don't talk that much.
You don't, but this time you did. And so we finally get out of there, and we did get lost. Carrie gave us directions. They were a little sketch, so we got lost on the way to TGI Fridays. We get there, and it's closed. But on the way out, I do specifically remember you saying to somebody on the bus, hey, we're leaving now. We're headed over to TGI Fridays. The bus is coming over to pick everyone up, right? And he said, yep, we're picking you up at TGI Fridays. We'll meet you there. So you and I waited at TGI Fridays for about an hour and a half. At this point, I mean, it had to be, 1:30 in the morning?
We arrived there.
We didn't get there till...
We arrived at like 1:15 in the morning. It should have still been open.
But it was closed.
But it was closed.
Mm-hmm.
And... basically, we waited outside Friday till almost 4 in the morning.
Well, at one point, I drove you back. I was like, dude, we've been here for over an hour. The bus hasn't shown up. We haven't seen hide nor hair of anybody. I'm like, we're going back to Arco. And remember, Devin and Jill waited for us at TGI Fridays. Yeah. We drive back to Arco. The place is shut down. We couldn't even get no tour buses and no nothing but the fog and a locked gate. So we go back to TGI Fridays, and it's looking grim. And then we get there, and they're like, nope. No bus, no nothing, no nobody. And
by the way, just so people know, to get a perspective on how dire the situation was, that's before cell phones. Like there was cell phones, but the only person who had a cell phone was our tour manager.
And you didn't know the number.
And I didn't have the number.
Yeah. You didn't have anything on you.
Nope.
You didn't have a pager, you didn't have a wallet.
Nope.
You had a jacket.
That's it.
And that was about it. So luckily, Jill knew where your manager was staying, so we finally got a hold of him on a payphone, woke him up. He paged the tour manager.
That's right. He paged him because he didn't even have a cell phone.
Tour manager calls us back from the payphone at Denny's, and I think that was the first time I ever saw you yell.
I was pissed.
What do you mean? You're in Reading. I think they were 3 hours north of us, and they said something like, well, we thought you were going to catch a ride with your friend. And you said...
To Canada?
To Canada?
The bus was going to... We were going to Canada,
the next gig was 2.5 days later in Canada.
Yeah.
You don't even have a driver's license, much less a passport or a change of clothes or anything.
Nothing.
And they're like, well, can she put you up for a couple of days?
God. But they had to ride the bus all the way up there. I got to go to the movies and
Yeah, we hung out. We went to the mall.
that was
We went to Hungry Hunter. We hung out in Fairfield and Vacaville for a couple of days. They FedExed your passport and some cash and your and a plane ticket.
Yep. Thank God they gave me the plane ticket, or I wouldn't have went.
Yeah. So we put you on a plane a couple of days later after all the Fairfield Vacaville culture you could stand, and then you flew straight to Canada and played the gig.
Yep. I got a standing ovation when I walked in the building too. Not from the crowd, from the band and crew.
And it was well deserved because I'm sure you pointed out that it was not your fault. Like, I remember you said, "We're going over there now. Is it cool?" And they were like, "Yep, we'll come over and get you." And they just spaced.
And first of all, TGI Fridays aren't supposed to close at 1 in the morning.
No, they're supposed to close at last call, 2 o'clock.
We're supposed to close them down.
Should have been fine.
They should have been open until 2:30 in the morning.
On occasion,
3.
I think I have been with you at a TGI Fridays where they have stayed open late.
Yep.
Beyond last call.
Yep.
Close the doors. Called it a private club.
I think Carrie got bored and bailed, and I got stuck.
Fortunately, that only happened that one time. Never again.
Never again.
God love those boys. That's one of my favorite Slayer stories. I wasn't even gonna make you tell that tonight, but I'm kind of glad we did.
I've learned that. I've learned since then. Don't wander too far from the mothership.
Excellent. So this is your other band outside of Testament.
Yes.
Obviously, as we talked about earlier, both bands on hold while you recuperate from your wrist surgery.
That's right.
So in the meantime, how do people get a hold of Blackgate's music?
We have a Reverb Nation page.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like this is just Blackgate's. Sorry, we have a Reverb Nation page. You can go to that page. It's Blackgate/Reverb Nation.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a MySpace page as well.
Really?
Yeah.
You have a Facebook page too.
That is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's show you how much I actually frequent that stuff. We have the music's up on those two mediums.
So people can find it online.
You can find it online, yeah.
They should probably become friends with you on Facebook or like Blackgates on Facebook. That way they'll get the updates because Jeremy's kind of on top of that, right?
Yeah, you're talking to the wrong guy. Jeremy's definitely the guy that's on top of all that, without a doubt. Oh, by the way, I'd like to say this because I just found this out. Jeremy's wife, Jackie, it's her birthday tonight, so happy birthday, Jackie.
Happy birthday, Jackie.
Have a drink on me.
I hope you're still awake.
I think she is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Excellent. All
So
right.
yeah, so I mean, and we'll be, as I said, hopefully when the wrist gets better, later on this year we'll be playing some local shows, so keep your eyes and ears
So
open
definitely
for that.
become friends with Blackgates on Facebook so that you can get the updates for when the shows happen.
Yep.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming down tonight.
Thanks
man.
for having me.
Appreciate it.
It's awesome.
All right. It's 107.7 The Bone. This is Death Clock in the Metal Zone.